Welcome to the Wednesday Warrior Wrap-Up, where we take a look at some of the awesome news and reveals of this week. First up on the Wednesday Warrior Wrap-Up, something a little different. This is just in toy news. When it comes to stores, Walmart has started to stock their exclusives and other toys. And it looks like Walmart, no offense, it looks like Walmart finally woke up and realized, hey, we're one of two major toy stores in the U.S. That are physical stores. Because, you have Big Bad Toys, Entertainment Earth, Amazon, the actual store fronts like Mattel Creations and Hasbro Pulse. We're no shortage on online purchasing. And Walmart and Target even have online. But when you go to Targets and Walmarts, Target's been doing really good with the Target Geek Out and the Geek Collector Spot and stuff like that. And they're, making sure to make end caps with whatever's popular, even if it's not got a movie or something. Like I've seen, when a new set of Marvel Legends come out, they try to make the spot look nice. But Walmart has usually been hit or miss. And it looks like this is popping up on Reddit and social media. That's where I got these photos. I have yet to find one of these in my store, but it looks like they're doing like Lego used to and Toys R Us used to back in the day, where they have figures on display in little built cases that Hasbro, I'm assuming, sent to Walmart. So I'm assuming, how they have flagship stores where it's not necessarily the biggest store, but it's the store that gets the most foot traffic and they consider it a flagship store, are going to get these. I'm hoping somewhere in my area they'll have one so I can see it in person, take photos, and just be like, whoa. Because they're actually realizing that, hey, we have a market, we have a lot of exclusives that are ours, which is kind of sad because just recently the Walmart capsule for that Cybertron wave of stuff where it had Sideways and Exalion, there was supposed to be an Alpha Trion that was a leader class where it was supposed to be him with other stuff like they did with is it Tigertron? Not Tigertron. I can't remember the character, but they did it during the Pirate one. So there was rumors that he was going to come with this mini-con of that capsule and maybe another figure. And then there was supposed to be, I believe, a Skywarp off of the Starscream mold, and then one other one, maybe it was Thundercracker. But there was supposed to be a couple other figures, and Walmart the rumors, they kind of just went, we don't want it anymore. So it's kind of a shame now they're finally doing this, where they have their, Night Force G.I. Joe stuff, and their Marvel Spider-Man and Capcom 2-pack, and all these cool things on display. So hopefully we'll see those other figures come out at Walmart in the future, and that it was just they pushed it back, or maybe during the Walmart car in the fall, but I'm dragging on with that. I just think this is really cool that Walmart is making a designated collector spot. That's not electronics. I think it's actually by the toy aisle. From the looks of it, I think some people say they found them in the electronics, some people found them in the toy aisle, but it's going to be like with all the mainline, adult collectibles / kids could buy it too, but like Studio Series, G.I. Joe Classified, Marvel Legends, and just really awesome looking. So very excited for this. I did see one for Star Wars The Black Series, so I don't know if they're going to do one for that. I think they should, since they have so many Star Wars The Black Series, Revenge of the Sith figures. I think it would have been cool if they did something like that for that, maybe having the Magna Guards on display with the Clone Troopers and stuff like that. But really awesome to see Walmart doing this. And in Marvel Legends toy news, we got a reissue that was kind of snuck in when the Magic the Gathering figures went live, because they are shown here too. I wanted to show off them. I know there's a lot of people who only collect Marvel Legends that are kind of upset with this line, and I wanted to kind of talk about it here because I can totally see from their perspective. These went up. We talked about them during Comic-Con. I don't think they talked about a price, but these went up for about $39.99. I think it was, so $40 each. And a lot of people are going, so wait, you're telling me the card is a $15 card? And based on the cards here, the abilities, they can synergize. If Magic the Gathering, it'd be pretty good cards with other cards in the set. But it is very much an interesting combination of two lines that don't always, in my opinion, mesh well. I know during Comic-Con they had the Spider-Man sets and they were playtesting it, and a lot of people got into it, thought it was really cool. I, for one, am a big Magic the Gathering fan and Marvel Legends fan. I grew up playing the game with my family, and I grew up collecting the toys. So I think this is a really cool thing. Do I think it's worth $15 for a card and a packaging that's, a little bit bigger for figures that came out beforehand? Like, when you think about it, the Battle Damage Spider-Man is on not the Maximum Series body, not even the Renew Your Vows body, it's another body, I'm assuming. I just don't know which one off the top of my head. And it comes with a couple of extra accessories. So they're not really deluxe figures. So it's not even like you could say, well, they're $20, $30 figures with a $10 card. It is very much a $15 card with a standard figure. But it's very interesting. But back on the point of Electro sneaking in with them as a reissue figure, he is available on Hasbro Pulse and most other e-tailers. But when we were talking about the Walmart stuff in the last segment, I completely forgot to cover that Walmart isn't just getting the exclusives we knew. They also got some reissue exclusives of Sandman on the retro card and Jamerson, Jamerson, I could never say his name right, Triple J on the retro card. So those two are hitting Walmarts. I did not find any links online for those two, but people are already finding them at their local Walmarts, along with the Omega Red War Machine 2-pack and the Spirit Spider. So there's our hitting store shelves. So lots of cool Marvel Legends news and toys and stuff coming out if you're excited for that. And it's some Transformers news. This is technically more on the Takara side of things than the Hasbro side of things, but since they're both the same, it is Hasbro Transformers news through Takara. The Missing Link line has added another character through a repaint of the Optimus Prime, that being of Nemesis Prime. So this is very exciting if you like the Missing Link Optimus and you wanted the Nemesis Prime version. Now we're getting, I think this is our first Decepticon too. So I thought that was kind of interesting that our first Decepticon in the Missing Link is just, Nemesis Prime, the evil clone of Optimus Prime. But it is still really cool looking. It is only available on BBTS right now, along with the next item we're about to talk about, but I'm sure it will go up on Entertainment Earth and Hasbro Pulse later on. BBTS has been kind of early when it comes to launching pre-orders. I don't even know if it's on them. It could be they're told one day and then Hasbro decides to push it and tells everyone else, and they're like, we already put it up, sorry. But if you want it or the other item we're about to talk about, you can get them over there at BBTS. The other item we're talking about is the Predaking that is being made by Takara through the T-Spark line. This is kind of like that Rodimus / Hot Rod that came out a while back, where he's got the ability to transform, but he looks like one of those 3-0 figures. This is kind of the same vein of things. I didn't even know it was going to transform when I looked at it before, but it is amazing. The only downside is it's going to cost you about the same price as one of the high-end HasLabs. It's about $400, $450, so it's closer to the $500 mark than, Titan class, which is about $200, so it's, in between a HasLab or at a HasLab price point. I mean, it's literally almost as expensive as Unicron was back in the day. So it is a bit of a price item, but if you want it, it is available. There is a $45 non-refundable down payment on BBTS, so if you want to wait for Hasbro so that you can just pre-order it and then, as time goes on, decide. I feel at this point there's so much information about it, though, you'll either know if you want or you don't. I believe it has metal parts, plastic parts, all that fun stuff. It might be completely metal, I don't know actually, but it does transform into all three forms of beast mode, robot mode, and limbs. Which just means we probably won't see a Predacon from Hasbro for the next 2 or 3 years, because we have other Titans coming out and they don't want to compete with themselves in a way, because if they're really hoping to sell this, it'd be kind of hard to put out a Predaking already with this is coming out. So the only thing it means for me is that, unfortunately, we are going to get an updated Predaking. I do have the Power of the Primes one myself, which, if you can get that one for a reasonable price, it is still really good, especially if you throw the DNA upgrade kit on it. This is more of for, your high-end collectibles, kind of like Hot Toys versus Marvel Legends. And in McFarlane toy news, it's finally happening. I'm going to cover the 2 DC figures first. So we are getting the Sandman, I believe it is, from DC, not to be confused with the Sandman like the other comic and stuff like that. And then another character that I feel bad that I can't remember off the top of my head, but people already said if you come out with this character, you need to come out with the other character that kind of is like their friend / love interest. I can't remember their name. I feel bad. They're going to be going up for pre-order probably in the future, but it's a Target exclusive for both of these. Target's getting a lot of exclusives, so is GameStop when it comes to McFarlane. Not seeing too many go to Walmart right now, so I don't know what's going on there. But the thing I'm really excited about is we finally have a pre-order date for our Mortal Kombat figures from McFarlane. They are going up August 8th. That is in, I believe, 2 days of recording. Because today's Wednesday, the 6th, I believe. Yeah, so 2 days, mark your calendars. They do go up a little bit earlier than other toy lines. I believe it's 9 o'clock in the morning McFarlane goes up, compared to Hasbro, Mattel, who usually try to aim for 10 So make sure you're prepared for that. I know I've missed out on a couple McFarlane toys because I always get them mixed up. But yeah, really cool. We got Scorpion here, Sub-Zero. Both look incredible. I'm very excited about them. I'm looking forward to all the other characters that we saw at Comic-Con being revealed that will be coming out later on. So this is a really exciting line. I know a lot of people are kind of bummed that it's 7 inches over 6 inches. So they really only scale well with other McFarlane toys or other 7-inch figures. But for me, I just want Mortal Kombat figures that look decent, are well articulated, look cool, and that is this for me. And thanks to Toy Collector Magazine, we have a look at the next NECA Ben Cooper wave of figures, that of the Rockin' Awesome band KISS. So this will be the 4 band members of KISS, costumes for your Ben Cooper kids. And these are really just non-stop going, and I'm really excited for them. I don't collect them personally myself, but it's always fun to see the different old school costumes done in action figure form over just, generic kids. If you collect that scale, they might work with, like, other toys. But it is just really cool to see the different, the old plastic covered chest costumes with the masks. Someone a while back went, I really wish they would do the Transformers kid costume, where I guess back in the 80s there was a costume where it was a backpack and then it transformed into a chest / helmet / laser gun and shield, all from one little thing. And now it's all I can think about, and really hope that maybe Hasbro then will work out to do it, since it's such an obscure thing that I can't imagine Hasbro be upset with them doing it, that it wouldn't take any thunder from them making a figure of it, because they aren't going to do that. But yeah, just really cool to see these. There's really awesome stuff in the magazine if you get it yourself. I unfortunately don't know where I could pick these up. I think you can buy them online if you want to read the magazines, but they have really cool articles in them. If you go to their website, I think there's like little samples of each of the different stuff if you want to read what's going on and get an idea of it. But yeah, really awesome NECA stuff, really awesome stuff from Toy Collector Magazine. And in some Spin Master news, these were shown off a while ago at Toy Fair, but I think they slipped under my radar and I didn't even know about them. But Spin Master is still doing DC stuff. They did a lot of Superman stuff at the same time as McFarlane. And then they're going to also be doing some Batman stuff, and this time around they're doing ninja-themed Batman. So there's ninja-themed like Joker and Robin and Gorilla Grodd and Batman. But the part that really gets me is in the background of the packaging. I didn't see this. There's like the old turtle sprues with the weapons on them that you could pop out. So I thought that was really cool, and I just wanted to cover it because it just was really awesome to see that. So it reminds me of the old Batman X TMNT comics and shows and stuff like that. So these should be going out in the fall, I believe, right before the holiday season. So if you want to pick them up, you can. There's also other figures in this line from different kind of things. And it makes us kind of understand that, from what it sounds like, Spin Master still might be doing stuff. So it looks like Mattel really is only getting the DC figures that are like 6 to 7 inches. They might not be doing the 3-inch or the 4-inch or even the 5-inch figures like these are. Either that or Spin Master might be giving it back to Mattel, because when McFarlane bought one scale, Spin Master got the other scale, and so they've been both kind of working on it. So I'm curious to see what this means for Spin Master now that Mattel is getting back DC. If it means they're going to have to, give up making their stuff, which will really suck, because I really like their versions of the 5-point DC figures they've been doing of the classic Batman movies and Superman, so I'm really hoping they still get to keep that, because I think that's really wonderful. And it's some Power Rangers news from Super 7. Super 7 is getting to do blind box reaction figure 5-point Power Rangers. So these will be in a kind of like sparkly translucent, that's the word, sparkly translucent, kind of like the old Bandai and the Hasbro versions that did that with the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. I'm surprised it's the Green Ranger they're doing and not the White Ranger, since he was the Ranger during that time where they used the crystals and they kind of like shimmered and stuff like that. It could be the Chase figure. I think the Green Ranger is, but there could be a White Ranger too, which I really hope. These look really cool. These are the blind box ones, so you will have to go to your local Target, or sometimes like to the mall, to Hot Topic or Box Lunch, or GameStops and stuff like that, and you can pull these little blind box ones. You can buy them from Super 7. They're about $15 a figure, I think. They're really cool looking. I, for one, am just excited to see some kind of Power Rangers merch out there. It is Mighty Morphin Power Rangers again, but at least it's, something a little different. And we have more Power Rangers news to talk about too. And in the more Power Rangers news we have to talk about in video gaming, Fortnite, which I have been known to play here or there, whenever they do something with a brand that I like TMNT, Avatar The Last Airbender, Halo, Alien, Predator, Terminator, everything's been there pretty much. G.I. Joe, Transformers. I think that's what I really got into it, was when they had the Optimus Prime for Rise of the Beast. And I got into it. I was like, this is actually kind of fun, and I was pretty good at solo. I could get to the top 10, if not, win Battle Royale. And I realized it was kind of fun to actually play, and they have really cool creative modes. I'm not trying to sell you on played Fortnite. I'm here to tell you that in the new season, which is going to be on August 7th, they are bringing Power Rangers to Fortnite. So you will be able to play as the 5 primary Power Rangers of red, yellow, blue, pink, and black, but they are also going to have the Green Ranger. So there's going to be Power Rangers in Fortnite now, and the Megazord is going to be they have these things like there was a Star Destroyer for Star Wars, and then I think there was another thing a while back that was like a big item you could unlock in the game and use to fight. The Megazord is going to be there, and I'm hoping that means there'll be an event where you can get to the Megazord powered up and just cause chaos on the island. They're also throwing in another Halo Spartan armor, so as a fan of Halo and Power Rangers, they are really pulling me in this season. I enjoyed the DC season. I didn't play it as much as I'd like to, but I enjoyed the Superman and the different DC characters, and being able to use some of the DC Universe gear, like the grappling hook and the Crypto, the Super Dog weapon. But this looks really cool. I'm very excited for it. I might play a little bit. I don't go too crazy when it comes to gaming anymore, but if there's something really cool doing a crossover, like when Overwatch did stuff with Transformers and G.I. Joe, now they're doing something with Nerf also, it is fun to kind of play them, because I think they're usually free-to-play games that, unless you pay for the things, it's just free to experience, some of it. So it's definitely worth, if you're a Power Rangers fan, downloading Fortnite for the day just to kind of see what it's like, and then if you don't like it, you could leave, or you could at least have some fun with some Power Rangers and stuff like that. And in some fast food news, which we cover once in a blue moon here every now and then, McDonald's is doing a promotion with another one of their adult Happy Meals where you can get a quarter pounder or 10-piece McNuggets, and you'll get what looks like a brochure or a little card or something that talks about McDonald's Land. So it's a McDonald's Land themed Happy Meal for adults. Kids could get it too. It's just, it's targeted to older demographic who have nostalgia for the McDonald's characters and the old McDonald's Land stuff. And here show it is Grimace in his volcano area. You got Ronald McDonald's with the McDonald's building. You've got, all the different characters, Hamburglar, the Fry Guys, Mayor McCheese with each of their different, parts of the land showing off, and then, holding this little card up. And it talks about exploring McDonald's Land. So it's really cool looking. There's also going to be a new milkshake that is pink with blue whipped cream, or blue with pink whipped cream. I can't remember. A lot of people are speculating that it's going to be either, a blue raspberry milkshake flavor. Some people are saying maybe it's cotton candy flavored, blue and pink, the bright blue and pink, you usually think of cotton candy ice cream. So some people are saying maybe it's cotton candy flavored. We will probably, even when it comes out, never know, because it's like the Grimace shake. Nobody ever knew what Grimace shake's flavor was, I don't think. I don't think we ever figured it out. So it might be something like that, but really fun. And in comics this week we think look awesome. These are a lot of continuation issues. It's a big week for comics that I like, that I'm collecting. First up is G.I. Joe, A Real American Hero, number 319, which shows Mindbender with Serpentor and talking about, what's happening with Serpentor, what's Mindbender got going on. And then next up is Our Secret War, Captain America number 2. This is taking place where Captain America is working with a new Captain America to have their first encounter with Dr. Doom. It's a very interesting comic, and different timeline kind of thing, I'm pretty sure, going on here. And then next up we have one of the Dr. Doom comics. I think it's One World Under Doom, number 6, which looks really cool. There's a theme going on this week in comics, because you got Reed Richards getting his face pulled apart by Dr. Doom here. And then next up is Moon Knight, Fish of Khonshu, number 11. Same kind of situation. Moon Knight is peeling his face off. I guess there was some, kind of facial horror thing going around Marvel's comics that week that they were writing, where they're like, hey, let's make our, cover art, have characters' faces being pulled off. It kind of reminds me of, the whole idea of that, was that character, is it Husk from the X-Men, where she can peel off her face, and that's her mutant power, and then there's another material underneath it. But yeah, very interesting comic covers. I'm very excited for the Moon Knight one. With Moon Knight, I get it. It's him kind of, peeling away the different layers of, Mark Spector and Moon Knight and stuff like that. The Doctor Doom one is just Doctor Doom, being rude to Reed Richards in some way. At least he's not freezing him and breaking him apart. But yeah, really awesome comics this week, kind of keeping up with stories that are exciting to hear that we like to kind of read. Nothing super new. There's a couple new issues of things, but like always, go to your local comic shop, pick up your saver, see what's new, see if there's something you're excited for. I know my saver is already full of these comics and other comics that I gotta pick up that I'm very excited about that had their newer next chapters of their issues, so I'm very excited. And in our creative corner this week, we have a look at an awesome custom figure maker, that of Next Level 95, or Next Level Customs 95 on Instagram. And they have quite a following, but there was something that caught my eye that I just had to share this week that I thought was amazing that he did. And that is Jeff the Shark. I don't know if they made the figure from scratch, or if they got the file offline and 3D printed it, or if they got the recipe from someone else. Either way, it just looks awesome, and I haven't seen anyone else do this version of Jeff the Shark from the Marvel Rivals and comics and stuff like that, so I just think it looks really nice. They also had a glowing head for their Raven Spawn, which made the figure look incredible. And then the Spirit Spider they've done different versions of it, and I think it just looks incredible. This is, I think they said, their version 4. They've done it a couple times, and honestly, it's a really good looking figure. It looks way better than the actual release one coming from Walmart. But that's kind of what happens when people do custom figures. They always look incredible because the budget is there for them to do what they want, because they're paying out of pocket to customize it to make it look this amazing. Whereas with that one, they have to mass produce it. So no hate on Hasbro and Marvel Legends for that. It's just this one looks like an art piece, and it's amazing. And then the fourth thing that I saw on their page, and they have a lot of stuff, so go check them out, go to their Instagram, give them a follow, give them the likes, share it with your friends who want to see these cool things too, because there's some really cool figures. But the thing that caught my eye that I was like, oh my gosh, this is awesome, is a custom Pepsi Man figure. I've seen quite a few different people do their own custom Pepsi Man. It is a pretty simple custom to do, because you just have to find a solid figure that doesn't have a lot of extra gerbils. It's a solid suit, like a Spider-Man figure. And then paint it blue, and then give it silver in certain parts that put the Pepsi Man logo on the chest or something like that. But anytime I see one, it's still awesome, and I still get like, whoa, that's cool, someone did one. One of these days I'm going to have to do my own Pepsi Man and make him a villain, who will be, of course, a red soda brand that we won't say, so that they can fight, maybe not a villain, but another hero that they have a rivalry with. But yeah, really cool stuff. Go check them out. The link is in the description for their Instagram that you can click on and go straight to their Instagram, follow them, share their stuff, and just have a wonderful time looking at all the cool figure customs that might give you ideas of what you want to customize in your collection. But thank you so much for stopping by. And that about wraps it up. Thanks for stopping by. If you have any comments, leave them in the comment section. If you're feeling generous, share it. And thank you so much for watching. Till next time, bye.